We're back with Ivan Wapenisk, and Ivan, you're sharing this incredible story of suffering through sexual abuse, a local minister in your area who took advantage of you and some boys in your community. And we left the story where you wanted to take your life. You had found a rifle, but you decided not to. Obviously, you're here today. You found a lovely woman in the midst of this journey, your wife, Faye. And she challenged you one day. Both of you got into a heated argument over something superficial, as fireworks. But she challenged you that day. Tell us about that.
She likes fireworks. And there was fireworks happening in the community. And it was at 10 p.m. And she said, let's go watch the fireworks. I said, no, it's kind of late. I'm tired. I want to call it a night. So I finally gave in. And then we went to fireworks. We watched it, but I was angry inside. I was just boiling, and then I lost it. I lost it there, and we got into this big argument. And then on the top of her lungs, she said, "You need help." That was it. That's what I needed it. So I was living in Dryden, Ontario at that time, and I was visiting my community. So when I went back to Dryden, I went and looked for a counselor, and I did find one.
And this was a big step for you because you found a counselor. He was a man, and you had trust issues when it came to men, especially white men.
Yes.
And he was a white man. So this was a big jump for you to be able to trust somebody like that. What was that like, making that jump?
When I first met him, he was a white man, and I held him back at arm's length because I didn't want him to come any closer. That's what happens to a person who's been sexually abused. There's no trust for anybody. You keep everybody at arm's length. As it was for me, here was a white man who was also a trained counselor. Something had to take place in my heart, and then I had to trust him. So the walls slowly came down, but it was just enough for me to kind of extend my, a handshake to him. That's how far it went. And so we had our counseling sessions, and there were times I would be so angry during counseling sessions. There'd be times and I would just be bawling because all this emotion, all of this garbage was just coming out. And but he knew when to stay back. He knew when to leave me alone, not to give me a hug, not to shake my hand. He knew, so he stayed back.
And then a day comes where you have an opportunity to meet the abuser, the man that had abused you as a child.
Yes.
And you decide to take that opportunity.
There is a book out there called The Door of Hope, and in there is steps to freedom from sexual abuse. And there is a section, I think it's maybe step 7, maybe step 6 or 7, where it says, forgive the abuser for your benefit, something like that. So I did all the steps except that. I skipped that, and then thinking, here I'm at step 10 now, everything's going well. But no, I had to go back to step 7 and forgive my abuser. It's quite amazing how God orchestrated everything. Here I was in my community working on to fly to another province, BC, to extend forgiveness. Even though, like it's miles apart, but yet God was in the picture, all around it, a bigger picture, God was in it.
And you shared the letter that you had written to this man, and I read the letter, and it made me cry because I thought, wow, for you to take that step to forgive somebody like that is huge. But to also extend to him this offer of salvation, you said to him that you want to introduce him to Jesus, that he can truly know who Jesus is. How important was that to be able to say to him, you need to know Jesus.
You know, Jesus died on the cross for our sins, the sins of the world. And who am I to hold a grudge against someone when he has forgiven me? He has forgiven me. I deserve God's wrath. You deserve God's wrath. We all deserve God's wrath. He doesn't owe us anything, but because of his mercy, his grace, he forgives us. So we can turn around and forgive others.
Wow.
He has shown us, he has shown me his mercy, and I can turn around and show mercy to the one who sexually abused me.
Wow.
It's all of him. It's all of God.
I told you that this would be an interview, that if you are a sexual abuse victim, better yet, not even a victim, you are a survivor of sexual abuse. This is an interview, or even if you know of somebody who's survived sexual abuse, this is an interview that you're going to want to share with that person. You know, maybe you're not at the point yet, like Ivan was, to forgive the abuser, but I would love to encourage you to call our prayer lines today. The number's at the bottom of your screen, 1-866-273-4444. We have amazing prayer partners that would love to pray with you, journey with you. If you don't know Jesus, they would love to introduce him to you. You see, what made a difference in Ivan's life is that he knew Jesus, and he knows that the only way to see transition, the only way to see healing in his life was to forgive his abuser. And so I encourage you to call our prayer lines. Ask them about Jesus. Ask them about forgiveness. Ask them about healing that could only come from him. We would love to offer that to you today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.